Hi y'all, I'm Emma and I am the Education and Stewardship Coordinator out here at Woldumar, and today we are going to take a walk on our lovely trails and just see what we find. So come on, let's go! So here we are at our pond dipping net box, and you might not think that there's anything special here, but every now and then you get a peek at one of my favorite residents at Woldumar. So if you look at my hand next to the spider, this is called a fishing spider. Now this is a really small one. They easily get about the size of your palm. Their bodies get larger than a quarter on average. They're really cool because what they'll do is they're an ambush predator, and they will live along a river or a pond, and then they just drape there, and they might just look like a dead leaf, and then they launch into the water, and that's when they attack. And the cool thing about them is they have these really tiny hairs all over their body, so when they jump in, it forms an oxygen bubble around them. And the reason they're called fishing spiders is because at times they even take small fish. So they'll take fish and insects, pretty much anything that they can get a hold onto. So a very formidable predator and a very cool predator that we have here at Woldumar. Okay, so here we are at our Woodland Pond, which right now is covered in a lot of duckweed and algae, which makes it really easy for our amphibian and reptile friends to hide and blend in. So we have lots of green frogs and bullfrogs right now, all in the water here, and they just have their little eyes sticking up. And then we also have our turtle friends out here on the logs. And amphibians and reptiles are cold-blooded, so what they want to do is they want to use their environment to create their own heat. So they are going to come out on these logs to warm up and enjoy the day so that they can live their life and move around. Okay, so here we have a little baby, we got two baby toads. And now see how when I pick it up, I'm trying to be very careful not to squish it, but you can tell they're toads because they've got this really rough, warty skin. And toads are more terrestrial than frogs, so they're going to spend most of their time on land, but they still complete the first part of their life cycle in the water. So they're still tied to the water, but you can tell they've got a lot rougher skin back here, and they're pretty cute. Alright, so here we have one of my least favorite things in the woods, but it's also something we can admire because of how tenacious it is. So here we have poison ivy, and a really great way to identify this plant, well, first off, it has 3 leaves, but there are a lot of other plants in the woods that have 3 leaves as well. So a good way to identify this is we can see that it has these lobes here. It's got 2 lobes here and a lobe on each side of these leaves. So a really good way to remember this is for the middle leaf, if you put your hands together like this, you've got 2 lobes on each side. And then when you take your hands off like this, then you've got your other 2 leaves with a lobe on each side this way. So that's how I always remember it. And if we look close enough, we can see that there is a red stem where all of the leaves come out. So it's red right in the middle where all these leaves meet. And it can grow along the ground, and it can also grow up the tree as a vine. And this is another plant that people might confuse poison ivy with, but if it was poison ivy, I wouldn't be touching it. So this is Virginia creeper, which is a native plant here in Michigan, and it has 5 leaves on it. So 5 leaves and shaped like a star, but it is also a vine and also grows along the ground. So if you can avoid this plant out in the woods, then you're doing good. Alright, so that's the end of our nature walk today. My name's Emma, and make sure you stay tuned for more nature walks in the future here at Woldumar for the Naturally Curious. Thanks!